hearing of Peter Murrell yesterday. Do you think there was too much power invested in a single person within the SNP that allowed this to happen?
I think what the court narrative demonstrates yesterday is that Peter Murrell abused his position, and he undertook a number of activities that were just plainly wrong, in the falsification of invoices and the inappropriate coding of particular payments that were being made. So the systems that the SNP had in place were undermined by Peter Murrell with, as we now know, criminal intent. And that is obviously a very significant and negative impact on the SNP. But what we've put in place is much stronger governance to make sure that these issues are properly dealt with in the years to come.
And you're confident that no single person within the SNP structure has that amount of power to be able to do something like this again?
As I indicated yesterday, when any financial payment has been made by the SNP, that payment has got to be viewed by 3 individuals, by the head of finance, by the chief executive of the party and by the national treasurer. And these are all individuals that have different accountabilities. The national treasurer works closely with me. The chief executive reports to the business convener. The head of finance is a qualified accountant. So we've got the resources and the controls in place to make sure the SNP is a well-governed institution, which is exactly what I promised it would be.
And we've had people who have spoke out, people who are now former SNP members. They say they were ostracised, they say they were demonised. Is the SNP a safe place for whistleblowers now?
Yes, I promised when I became SNP leader that I would preside over an open and transparent culture within the SNP, and that affects everything. So when it comes to the formulation of our strategy, for example, we had a very open debate at our party conference last October, in which a number of positions were put forward. One of them was advanced by me, but there were contrary proposals put forward by other people. People had their say. The party conference voted, and we decided democratically what way we were going forward. Nobody was ostracised. Nobody was demonised for what they said. People were respected for having different opinions, and actually, those people who had different opinions, I saw them working really hard during the election campaign, and I warmly welcome their participation, despite they were taking different views to the ones I expressed, but they worked hard in the election campaign. And then when it comes to the internal scrutiny of the party's business, the National Executive Committee meets on a monthly basis. It reviews issues. Its members are able to question me about all of the issues that are on their minds, and then we also have a National Council which will meet at the end of June, and that's a body where my accountability and the leadership's accountability is direct to the party membership, and that's exactly as it should be.
But in terms of whistleblower complaints, is there a process in place for people to be able to raise those issues that they have around financial aspects or other things like that?
Of course, yes, and people can do that, and their concerns and their issues will be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm. And Peter Murrell was appointed chief executive when you were leader first in the first instance. Is there anything looking back on it that you think that you could have done at the time that could potentially have limited the level of power that he went on to wield?
There's nothing that I knew at the time that would have influenced my decision. It was a panel decision that was taken by the party best part of 25 years ago. Obviously, what has happened since then has been the delivery of criminal behaviour and the circumventing of robust systems that should have been able to withstand this, but those systems were undermined by Peter Murrell himself. So the steps I've got to take is to make sure the SNP is a well-governed institution, and that's exactly what it is.